Hello readers, it's Sasha, and today I am going to be filming my introduction and conclusion to my chronic illness representation reading vlog. I've decided to make this the second installment in our Educate Yourself reading vlog series that I started last year, and I've really wanted to make more of these, but for some reason I just have not gotten around to it. So this was the perfect opportunity for me to continue doing my Educate Yourself reading vlog series for a good cause. A really good friend of mine here actually brought it to my attention that May is Chronic Illness Awareness Month. May is an awareness month for many different invisible illnesses, ones that people don't see yet are very real. I am not proud of the fact that I have not read many books with chronic illness representation, but I was really thankful to be given the opportunity to change that and to pick 3 books that I just really wanted to read that had some chronic illness representation that I thought would be good for this vlog. So many people live with a chronic illness, people that you don't even realize. It's not something that everybody wants to share, and it's not something that's visible all the time. So we need to be mindful of what we say and what we do and how we can be better allies to people who have these chronic illnesses that maybe we don't. So for the 3 books that I've chosen, I tried to pick a bit of a variety because I wanted to get a little bit more information on several different chronic illnesses, not just specifically one. So the first book that I chose was Still Alice by, I believe, Lucy Genova, and this is about a 50-year-old woman who is diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's and her journey with that and her family's journey with that. So this is a very popular book. This is one that like everybody and their mom has read pretty much, but I've never read it. I really wanted to, so I picked that one, almost like a no-brainer for me. The second book that I ended up picking was Wish by Joseph Moninger, and this is about an 11-year-old boy who has cystic fibrosis told from the perspective of his older sister, and they are going on an adventure for the first time for him to have one of his like biggest dreams come true, to dive with sharks. So that's pretty exciting. And the third book that I have chosen was Underneath the Sycamore Tree by B. Celeste. This is actually a book that a lot of us were reading together this month, and I think it was really incredible actually how many of us wanted to jump on board with this. So Underneath the Sycamore Tree is about this young girl. She's 18 years old and her twin sister died of lupus 10 years ago, and she has actually been diagnosed with lupus herself, and she's battling with that. This is a new adult romance about this young woman who has lupus, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I think it's going to be really good. So yeah, I don't know if this was the introduction that we were all hoping for, but here we are. I'm sorry, like this is so not a good introduction, but this is the best we're gonna get right now. So I will see you guys in my next clip for my first update on which book I started with. Bye! I am really excited to be starting Go Ask Alice for the first book for my chronic illness representation reading vlog. So a few of us have decided to do reading vlogs based on books with chronic illness representation. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I'm really looking forward to educating myself more and being more involved within this part of our bookish community, because there are so many people living with chronic illnesses, yet there's so little representation within literature. So I'm really looking forward to this. I am starting with Go Ask Alice because it is the one that has kind of spoken to me the most. I was really excited when I heard about it and I looked into it, and it really sounds so incredible. So I'm hoping tonight at work, once I finish the book that I'm currently reading, I'll be able to start this on my Libby app, and I'm so excited. So I'll update you all 50% of the way through, and I will see you when I start. Bye! I just wanted to give a quick update. I am almost halfway through Still Alice by Lucy Genova, I think. And this, I'm reading my chronic illness rep reading vlog, and I'm really loving this book. This book it definitely has the potential to be one of my favorite books of the year. It's really good. It's really potent, and it's just got so much information, and I'm really enjoying my time reading it. And so I'm really glad that I'm including it in this vlog. I just know that once I go back into work, I'm going to get over 50% of the way through, so I wanted to kind of give my updates while I'm still almost 50% of the way through, and I have nothing negative to say about it. So I will see you guys in my next update, but I am really loving this. I think it's a really great read, and it's definitely, like, it's written a long time ago, but it's still incredibly solid and beautiful, and I really enjoy it. So that is all. I am about to go back into work, so I will update you guys when I'm finished. Goodbye! I just finished Still Alice by a person that I don't remember the name of. And I really enjoyed this. This is about a woman who is diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and this is about her journey and her progression over, I believe it was 2 years. I think the author did a really good job at portraying what it's like to deal with a chronic illness and a progressive chronic illness at that. I think it was really well done. I know. It is one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year, so I'm really glad that I got the chance to pick it up this month on a whim. It was a really powerful story, and it helps you learn a little bit about Alzheimer's, and you'll never forget it. Like, if you read it, you will never forget anything about Alzheimer's or anything like that again. So I highly recommend reading this if you're into that kind of like adult contemporary fiction story. I think people would really like this. But yeah, that is book 1. I don't know what I'm reading for book 2, but I will update you guys when I start reading. Bye! So the second book for this reading vlog is going to be Wish, and I'm just getting ready to start it now. This is about a girl whose brother has cerebral palsy, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I feel like there's not a lot of books that I've read that have had cerebral palsy representation, so I am really looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm just gonna start it. I'll update you guys halfway through, hopefully, and bye! So I just wanted to give another little update. I am finished reading Wish. Wish is something... What? Do you see yourself? What? Yeah. You hungry? It's not time for food yet. Where you going? Yeah? Where you going? What? Okay. Big flop. Okay, so anyways, what I was saying was that I was gonna update 50% of the way through Wish, but Wish was a really, really short book. Like, it was literally like, I think 260 pages on the Libby app. So I decided not to. I was just like, I just can power through it. So I literally read it in like the span of like 10 hours. And that was while I was like busy doing other things. So it was a really easy book to read. And this is about a young boy. He's about 11 years old who has cystic fibrosis. And if you don't know what cystic fibrosis is, it's a genetic disorder that impacts the lungs and it makes it harder to breathe. Like, I believe the mucus lining is a little bit thicker, making breathing more challenging. So it's about this but it's about this boy, and the whole story is told in the perspective of his older sister, and his older sister's like almost like a caregiver to him. Like, she's really fantastic with him, and she's really caring, and she cares a lot about what he has to say, and she's kind of acting as more like a mother figure than their mom is. And so this book is about him getting kind of like almost like a Make-A-Wish Foundation type thing, but he gets to go to California and see sharks, and he's like obsessed with sharks. He loves sharks, and so he goes on this trip and he sees a shark, but it kind of underwhelms him. It's not something that he's the biggest fan of. But then he ends up meeting these people that he's been like kind of like pen paling with, and it turns his trip around completely. And it was really wholesome. Like, it was a really wholesome and easy to read and fun story, and it just really showed that just because you have an illness, it doesn't mean that it defines you. It doesn't mean that you're less than, or that you're in any way less capable of doing things. Like, there are some things that Tommy, the little brother, couldn't do because it would really impact him, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't capable. It's that, you know, like, making that decision was smarter not to do that than it would be to do that. So I really like this book. I didn't expect to really enjoy it as much. It was just kind of one that I found on Libby as kind of like a chronic illness rep book, but this one really surprised me, and it really took my breath away in how beautiful and how important this story was. So I really did enjoy it, actually. So it was really beautiful. I really did enjoy it. And I'm very glad that this was something that I was able to read because it was really wholesome. It was really cute, and I had a really good time reading it. So I would definitely recommend it. Not a lot of people I know would talk about this book. It wasn't really on anybody's list on Goodreads that I'm friends with. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's such an easy read if you're looking to like boost a Goodreads goal or learn a little bit more about sharks because there were some shark facts in there, or also just to read a book a little bit about cystic fibrosis and get a little bit more of an understanding on what that is. I would definitely recommend this book. So the final book that I'm reading for this vlog, I'm actually about 20-ish pages in already, and it's Underneath the Sycamore Tree by a person. I'm so bad with people's names in vlogs. Oh my god. The writing so far is really good. I don't really know for sure what it's about. I just know it's about this girl who had a twin sister who passed away of lupus when she was 10 years old. The disease kind of took her, and now her sister also has lupus as well. So yeah, it's a good story so far. Like, I don't really have anything negative to say about it, but I'm only like 25 pages in, so I feel like we'll see. Something negative could come out, but as of right now, like, it's really good. I like the writing, it's engaging, and I'm interested to see where this goes because I believe it's classified as like a new adult romance, and I know those get a little bit steamy, so I'm interested to see where this goes. I have a feeling that it might be kind of like an age gap thing. I don't know. That's just the vibe I'm getting, like either age gap or like step brother and stepsister, which is, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if my predictions are correct. I'm going to be reading it a little bit more today, so we'll see. But yeah, that's just how I feel. So yeah. Okay, bye. So I am 50% of the way through Underneath the Sycamore Tree, and I'm really loving this book. I think this book is absolutely incredible. It's such a hard-hitting depiction of lupus, and I feel so many emotions while I'm reading it. It is incredible. It's so incredible to be reading this and to be not only learning more about lupus, because I really am not as educated in several different chronic illnesses, but it's incredible to just read the way that the author has written the story is really beautiful. Like, there are some lines that have been like highlighted and underlined on the Google, like on the Kindle app, and every time I see one, like, it's underlined. It's the most beautiful thing. Like, the writing in this is so beyond incredible. Like, I'm having such an incredible time reading it because it's so hard-hitting and impactful, and it's so well written. Like, it's incredibly well written. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I honestly think this is just a taste issue. Like, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of like bully love. I don't even know if that's what this would be considered, but freaking the love interest, like, guy is really awful to her at first, and like, he does these like cute little things around the house and stuff, because oh yeah, they're stepbrother and stepsister, by the way. So he does these like little cute things around the house for her, but then he'll be like, yeah, like, fuck you, like, I don't care about you, and all this stuff. At points I'm just like, this is too much. Like, this is too intense. So I have been struggling a little bit with that aspect of it, but overall I feel like the story is really well done. Like, at first I was honestly thinking that this is going to be one of my favorites of 2021, but I'm getting a little bit tired of Caden, who is our love interest. I'm like, I just get annoyed with him because I like really soft and cute things, and he's just like not that. He's like a bad boy, like to the max, angst to the max, and I just like, it's not my thing personally, but I still really love this book. It's not going to be like a new favorite, but like, it's really fantastic. Like, it's a really great story. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that is a thing that I have done. I have made it halfway through, thank God. So I'm going to keep reading now. Noah's in the grocery store, and I'm super excited to continue reading this book because it is really good. Like, it's a really good story, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, wow, this person cannot drive. Okay, anyway, that's fine. Yeah, so that's all. I will see you guys when I finish this book. Bye. Oh my god. So, if you couldn't tell, I was crying over Underneath the Sycamore Tree. This was a really incredible book. Like, seriously, I loved it so much. It was such a great story. Not only was this a powerful and impactful story when it comes to chronic illness and physical health, but it was also a really powerful story about family and friendship, and I literally feel like it got me so hard in my feels. Like, by the end of it, I was at like tears, like literal tears. Oh my god, the ending got me so freaking hard. Oh my god. This was such a powerful story, but I don't actually know how I'm going to rate it. Like, I feel like with how hard it hit me, I feel like it's more like a 5-star. But at the end of the day, like, I did have some issues with it. Like, Hayden really bothered me as a person. Like, I really didn't like his personality. Like, he was a nice guy sometimes, but then he was like also this like broody, angsty, like piece of shit person. And like, I get it, like he had issues, like he had reasons to be angry and angsty, and I understand that, but I'm more into like the nice guy all the time, like not just like the nice guy part-time and then like the asshole the other part of the time. Like, that doesn't work for me as much. So that part of his character really bothered me. I really liked the rest of the characters though. I thought her dad was a great character for the story. Like, we didn't get a lot of like dad time, but like he made sense for the story and I really liked him. And Cam, who is the stepmom, was an incredibly amazing character, like 10 out of 10. She's one of the best mother figures I've ever read about. Like, she is incredible. And then the actual mother, I thought she was a really interesting addition to the story in terms of her character development and her growth throughout the story, because the story takes place over a year, and so her mom does grow over the year, and it's really nice to see. Her grandmother, lovely, 10 out of 10 lady, literally the kindest and coolest grandma ever, and she was great. And just, oh, it was beautiful, and that's all I can say about it. Like, it was beautiful. I don't really know how I'm gonna rate it, to be honest. I don't know if maybe I should give it a bit higher of a rating because it made me cry, or, you know, like, it's really hard. Like, I'm gonna have to sit on this one for a little bit and just kind of like think about everything and how I feel about all of it. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done reading books for this, and I honestly think this was the most successful reading vlog I've ever done. I can't wait to do my wrap up at the end to kind of talk about each book and figure out how I feel and what my ratings are for each book. But holy shit, like, this is an incredible experience, an incredible reading experience for me, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. So I will see you in my next update, which will be the conclusion. That is all. I'll see you in my next update. Bye. You've made it. You've made it all the way through my chronic illness reading vlog. Woo! Alright, so I really like to rank my books at the end of my vlogs just to see kind of my thoughts and do an overall like little wrap up of what I felt throughout the month of May while I was reading these chronic illness representation reading books. So I'll start off with my least favorite and work my way up. So my least favorite was A Wish by Joseph Moninger, but this was in no means a bad book. This was a 4-star book for me. So that's how you know how incredible this reading vlog has been. This story was incredibly powerful. It was about this 11-year-old boy, and he was so strong and so resilient in so many ways. And it was about his older sister, and they had such an incredible bond. Such an incredible bond. Sibling relationships in books can be really hit or miss. Like, you can either like hate each other, or like they tolerate each other, or they love each other. But these ones absolutely adore each other. They're so incredible. And the bond was something that like you can't just fake. Like, it was so real, and it was so incredibly important to the story. It was a super short book. It was literally like 240 pages maybe. And I think that's what made the book so good, in my opinion, is because it didn't need to be longer. It was a fully fleshed out, really cute story, and it didn't need to go any longer. There was nothing else that needed to happen. And I think that's why I really liked it, because there was no necessity to drag on and carry on conversations that have no need. There was no need to drag the plot along for no reason. Like, it just made so much sense for the story. It was really good. The only things that I had issues with, I think, was, I honestly can't remember, but I do know that I gave 4 stars. So I obviously had a reason, but I don't remember that reason right now. Next up is Underneath the Sycamore Tree by B. Celeste. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really loved this book. Like, I sobbed at the end. Like, as you could see in my video, I mean, you can't see like me sobbing because I don't want to put that on there, but you can see me like actually like having tears. So I was crying for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, I really don't know, after I finished the book. And while I was finishing the book, it was so emotional and so powerful. And this girl was such a strong and incredible person, and I just could not get over how everybody in the story was perfect for their role. Mom, dad, stepmom, stepbrother, everybody was perfect. Everybody played their roles perfectly, and everybody was included in a meaningful and important way. Overall, I absolutely just adored this book, and the only things I hated were Caden, who is the stepbrother. This is a stepbrother-stepsister relationship romance, so if that's not something you're into, you might not vibe with this story. But Caden was kind of one of those like boys who's like bullied her and then like made her feel really good and then bullied her more and then made her feel really good. And I really like soft boys like from the start. So like if you're not soft from the start, I'm not as into you. I'm not as into your character. I'm not really into that whole like angsty like bully type romance. That's not really like my thing. But other than that, that was like the only thing I had to say negative. It was such a fantastic story. Finally, the best book that I read this month was not this month, kind of this month actually, was Still Alice by Lucy Genova. This book was incredible. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored this story. It was about this woman who was a professor at Harvard University, and she was dealing with all of these lapses in her memory and all of these little early signifiers that something was going wrong. But nobody really believed her at first. Like her husband was like, no, like you don't have this. It's literally just you're like menopausal, all this stuff. And her husband throughout the entire story was trying to find things that cured Alzheimer's and that, you know, proved that her diagnosis was wrong. So I did find it a little bit disheartening with him. He was not like the greatest character. I feel like he could have been a lot more supportive than he was, but I also feel like it was realistic for a situation where you're both really high up people who work at Harvard University. One is a professor in, I think it was law, and then the other is like a biologist. So I can understand where his anxieties and his fears were coming from, but that was probably the only part that like got me to the point where I was like, you know, you could be better. But the rest of the story, the way that it was written, the way that we saw Alice throughout, I believe it took place like, I want to say over a span of like 5 or 6 years maybe. So we got to see Alice throughout that span and just slowly descend and succumb to her illness. And that was really powerful. So the way that it was written really made the story just pop off. And there wasn't a lot of dialogue, which is usually something that I can't get behind. But the story itself, I feel like didn't need all kinds of conversations because we're always hearing Alice's thoughts and we're always hearing her battling inner thoughts of being like, I remember this or I don't remember this. And it's just, it made the story interesting and I couldn't have asked for better. I have really like nothing bad to say about it other than the support that came from her husband wasn't the biggest fan of. But overall, like I did give this 5 out of 5 stars. I do feel like it holds up to the hype because everybody has read this book and I just feel like it's definitely worth it. So that is all. Those are the 3 books that I've read. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any other recommendations with chronic illness representation. I definitely do know of others, especially some more like popular ones, but I decided to read some not as popular ones, some ones that I have not really heard of before, just so I could kind of like expand my horizons. So I definitely do know of some popular ones, but I'd love to hear some more. So if you have any recommendations, please leave them below. And thank you for tuning into this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I do post twice a week, and I have some really fun videos coming up that I'm sure you're not going to want to miss out on. And until next time, bye readers!